Thank you, Mr. President, committee members, Mr. Mayor, fellow candidates and councillors. It's a pleasure to be here tonight, and as you know, I was a councillor from 1999 to 2004, and I'm having another go. The reason I'm having another go is I like this area, I like Hornsby, I think it's a great area. I see that there's a lot of potential here that has not been realised. I enjoyed my term on council in those 4.5 years, but there's a lot of unfinished business. Nick Berman spoke earlier on about, I think it's number 80 George Street. Well, when I got onto the council, the Hornsby CBD was sort of a dog's breakfast. There was nothing happening, and finally I decided that I'd get onto the CBD steering committee, and when I looked at the rules that we were trying to get development passed by or developers to commit funds to, I said this is not going to work. So I started to speak to a few developers, a few architects, Ian Ezzy, who I think is a member of this chamber, and we came up with a bit of a change. The change was supposed to be a short-term change, but to show that commercial premises would work in Hornsby. And 80 George Street is an example of that. Sid Edwards, who's a member of this chamber, I think he's sitting down there and is my accountant, happens to be one of those tenants well, a tenant is an owner, I think, of some premises in that building, and he tells me that they could have sold twice as much. But I said, let's try this, let's see if it works and show the developers that yes, Hornsby is a good place to invest money. But that was stage one. It needs to be taken further. There needs to be a lot more, because Hornsby should be employing a lot more people. It should not be an area that just people reside in and go somewhere else. To our north, we've got the Central Coast, which has a fairly substantial unemployment problem. There's a lot of people there that would be only too willing to commute to Hornsby, but it's too far to go down to the city, and we hear of the road problems, the traffic problems, the train problems, but Hornsby is a good stopping place. Why do I say this? My history is that I had a transport business. I was a small business owner for 26 years. I ran a transport business running trucks between Sydney, Melbourne and Sydney, Brisbane, a daily service. I know all the problems associated with running a business, and now I'm in a position where I'm the state manager for Hertz Truck Rentals. And I've been there for the last 6 years. So I know the issues that confront you. The reason I'd like to be a councillor again is because I also think that you need somebody who will return your phone calls when you have a problem, somebody that will understand your problems and that will go into bat for you. And there's a large number of people out there in A Ward that have a lot of problems and are sometimes intimidated by the bureaucracy, and they need somebody who's going to stand up for them and go into bat for them. Not necessarily take on and stage World War III with the bureaucracy, but you've got to also know that those people that we've got employed in Hornsby Council, the majority of them are good people. We just need to work with them. Thank you.